Welcome to Three Things. Our guest today did the fast food challenge after we did our fast food draft on the podcast last August. He is, in my mind, the best heel on White Sox Twitter, regardless of what that fucking Ken WO has to say about it. He nearly has me in tears every time he's getting on My Sox Summer during the 108 Tourney Roundup videos each night. I would sit back and wait for him to come on to our Periscope in the comments and smash My Sox Summer again. Lately, I've been taken to enjoying him smashing Aloha Mr. Hand as he comments about how My Sox Summer is doing such a great job on the podcast.
That's all bullshit. That's all bullshit.
He's become a significant part of the Sunday Soap, one of the people whose questions I look most forward to seeing and addressing each week. A two-time 108 tourney entrant. Thanks for joining us, White Sox Sal. Welcome to Three Things.
Glad to be here. Let's get this going.
Where is your shirt, man?
What, mine? Did I have a shirt on? I don't know. I'm embarrassed. I'm sorry. Don't look. Don't look at me. Okay, just pretend I've got a shirt on right now.
I wanted to say this in person for the first time ever. Go fuck yourself, Sal.
I've been waiting for it.
But now I feel bad because I didn't know he was as old as he is. So I'm going to take it easy on him from now on.
So I'm so old, he's at risk of COVID-19, and then you're telling me to go fuck himself out there.
I am in the high risk area. Yes.
He's barely above me, but he is still above me.
So I agree on the when My Sox Summer's doing a video, one of the things that I look forward to is Sal's comments. But I think more impressive is, Sal, and correct me if I'm wrong, did you survive a Las Vegas encounter with Wally money?
Oh, yeah, it was very brief, though. I mean, Wally was up for like 36 straight hours, and during his dinner, he like passed out on top of his food. So
these are the stories. He doesn't tell us that part of the story.
So when you met him, he had a big side of mashed potatoes on his face.
I mean, he was rough, but good dude. But I was like, if I got to hang out with this guy, I'm fucked.
No, Sal, you got a good point there because Wally goes in stages. Like that first maybe 24-ish hours where he's been on a bender, he's a lot of fun. Once you start dipping into 36 and 48 hours, you want to figure out ways to get the fuck away from him, usually.
Maybe next time he'll last a little bit longer, I guess.
That's what she said.
That's what they always say.
Wally money coming up short as usual. All right, thing number 2, White Sox Sal, give us a question.
All right, here's the question. Since 108 is not all about the Twitter, and you guys have probably had Twitter since around 09, probably.
Yeah,
that's right.
And Twitter now isn't what it was like in 09, but what I was thinking of, what sporting event pre-09 would have benefited from having Twitter around? Or what would have like blown up Twitter if it were around?
The blackout game. I thought
you were going to say that.
The blackout game for sure, because like the videos of the blackout game like would have been incredible all over the place. And what would have been even better would have been me and B-Flow taking pictures with those 2 twin fans that were in our section. And they were kids. They were great fans, good kids. But like I felt terrible for them because they wore like full Twins gear and they were wearing like the white like home Twins jerseys, and they were just in a sea of like Southsiders in black hoodies. And like it looked dangerous for them.
As far as I know, though, everyone did behave themselves.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, those kids, they ran off pretty safely, I think.
My Sox Summer, you go next.
I'm gonna go with an event that I think would have been really fun to watch, and they did it 8 times or 6 times, but the first time would have been the best one. It would have been the 1991 Bulls winning the finals. Just as that build up, as that season build up, as you beat the Pistons for the first time to move into the finals, it would have been great.
Like My Sox Summer with a GoPro on looting through the streets of Chicago would have been awesome. I'm into that.
I was at Game 1 of the 1992 NBA Finals. I was standing room at the top of Old Chicago, and they always would tell you that you could never hear Jordan's name get announced because the crowd got so loud that it would just go overpower everything. And that was 100% true in that game. But also, post-game, we're high as fuck because we're just so – I mean, I was probably – I think it was like 12. But it was so happy to, like, go out to see the game, and then we left. And I watched a woman get robbed right in front of me, in front of Old Chicago Stadium. And I was like, this is a total Chicago experience in like 8 hours. You watch Michael Jordan just demolish a fucking Portland Trailblazers team, and then you watch a guy run by and just yank a white lady's purse and ran the fuck away. It was beautiful.
Can I just take 2 steps back? Did you say you were 12 and you were high as fuck?
No, we were from the win. And I mean, it was, and then I never saw, and the Blackhawks didn't have the intro they have now, like when they were in Old Chicago Stadium. But like, if you remember in the 92 finals, the Blackhawks were in the Stanley Cup at that time, and the Bulls were in the NBA Finals. And they had just done a 6-game marathon with Cleveland. So, like, we were coming into it, like, we were either going to go to Game 7 of Cleveland and the Bulls, or we were going to go to Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and luckily we got to go to the Finals. But, like, it was just so electric, dude. I mean, Bulls games were just, I mean, Old Chicago Stadium, it was just a whole different fucking whole game. And the only thing I can compare it to is the start of the Blackhawks game, you know, the one that I went to, like, 3 years ago. Like, we were down, like, on close to the ice. And it's just so fucking loud, and people just go so fucking crazy. I mean, there was just nothing really like that. Like, I don't see that anymore. You know.
And you robbed that lady.
Yeah, well, no, I didn't rob her.
This
Well, you were high, you
summer
were
of jealous. He wishes that he had robbed her Beanie Babies off of her so he could sell them anyway.
She was. I will tell you what, though. This girl was dressed up like way too fancy. This was like 90s fancy. And, like, was walking, like, with her purse, like, just flapping in the wind. And my dad's like, fuck that. Fuck her. That's her fault.
Thanks, Dad.
Awesome.
All right, so Dreezy went single event, and My Sox Summer went sort of like a build-up in a season. If I were going to do those each direction, if I was going to do one single event, the Illinois versus Arizona Elite 8 game would be ridiculous to be a part of Twitter during. Okay, like that, especially that last 4 minutes would be pure fucking insanity, right? If I was gonna do like a whole season build-up, easy. The 1985 Bears, the Bears smashing people every week, and then just us like dominating some other fan base's Twitter like for an entire 8-hour day. You know, pregame and Jim McMahon doesn't play. Fuck them. Would blow out Atlanta 36-0. I mean, like that would have been it for me.
Beef, you hit it. You hit the nail on the head. You know what it was? What would have been fucking amazing for Twitter? Being on Bourbon Street before the Super Bowl and getting like a 3 a.m. shot with like Jim McMahon. Like, because you know what happened. Like Dan Hampton was annihilated on Bourbon Street. Had to have happened. Like that's why we needed Twitter. Yeah, you got it. You hit it there. Yeah.
I think the Illinois game was a better, stronger call. That would have been fun to watch people backpedal because people would be talking all sorts of shit. And be like, I knew this team wasn't there. I knew this. I knew that. And then all of a sudden be like, motherfucker, this team is legit. I was with them the whole time. And it would be like a 10-minute thing, you know? Like, it would just turn around in 10 minutes. You would see it. And then you could just make fun of those people for the rest of their lives because you're like, you didn't believe in them when we needed to.
Well, don't you think that blackout game, that whole weekend would have been nuts because you lost on Saturday, and you win the Sunday. I was at that game. Then you got to beat the Tigers the next day. Then you got the blackout game. Could you imagine like all the angst on Twitter those 4 days?
Oh man, it would be insane. It would be.
Yeah, Saturday night would be nuts. Like Saturday night would be everyone would be like, "Fuck this team! I can't believe I believed in this team." And then it would whip around as the thing started edging up.
Yeah, but people would still say we're going to lose tomorrow every time.
Yes, all the way through it. Yeah.
I'm thinking back though to the Tigers game especially. Like I don't know that I would like if this happens now. This is going to be like the biggest challenge for me. Like if I'm supposed to relay anything to Twitter, I can't imagine
I don't think we would.
pulling my phone out during some of that stuff, man. Like if
would.
if I was in my phone when Alexi came up, I would be forever scarred by that. Like
I'd have no fucking problem pulling my phone out. And then, you know what's funny too? You bring this up, Sal. People would have been worried we're going to lose. Didn't they face Nick Blackburn in the blackout game? Who the fuck is scared of Nick Blackburn? All of us would have been.
The thing that I was thinking of that would have probably,
what's your moment, Sal?
the thing that I thought of that would have probably been huge would have been Game 6, 94, Pippen dunking over Ewing. Remember that?
Oh,
yes.
Over him?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would have, the amount of videos and memes that would have generated.
It makes me want to go back and make a meme out of that. That's yeah, that's
All right.
one.
Do you guys remember like kind of not watching something at home maybe and not being on Twitter?
No, I don't. I actually don't. It's
been a
tough
while.
to like think back to where you're just like sitting there and ingesting a game.
Right. Yeah, it's
Definitely not at home, but live, yeah, live definitely, but not at home. Yeah, I know.
I think those are the blackout game is the thing I was thinking of too. So Teresi stole it, but yeah, all those are good. But the Arizona one and Illinois one I don't care about. So fuck that.
Oh, Sal, I'm not an Illini fan either. I was thinking of it more from like just a single game event where so much weird shit happened that there would be just this. It would be crazy. Like I was trying to think of a single game where some totally outlandish shit happened, where it's a really big event, and that was the only one I could really think of. My Sox Summer is Mr. fucking super fan Illini guy.
I know.
Although
I don't know. I think the Jordan thing would have went nuts.
Oh yeah, I think those Bulls teams would have just been nuts. I mean, the shot against Elo and stuff like that. I mean, Twitter would have just exploded.
Oh my God, that meme for Elo. Oh Jesus, forget about it. Forget about it.
Speaking of
Jordan, no more. That would be the meme of the life. Yeah.
Speaking of 90s NBA, thing number 3 is our question. If you could have gifted one 90s NBA player with a chance to get a ring with those Chicago Bulls teams that had won 6 titles, which 90s NBA player would it be? One caveat, though. The player cannot have won an MVP award. So, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, and Allen Iverson are out. Pick from anybody else who you would have put on those teams just to get themselves like a charity ring.
Oh, that's a good question. I hate Reggie Miller, so not him. Trying to think. Well, actually, I would like to have someone like Michael Cage on the Bulls teams because
Yes.
he just that would have been a lot of fun for you guys if he would have been on the team. I mean, he would have been just terrible for that team and just a cancer in the clubhouse.
But you know what? I would have enjoyed him more than the Bill Wenningtons and Luke Longleys of the world, because especially if he kept the Jerry curl, like he's fun out there and he rebounds. He rebounded the ball.
Oh yeah, but I mean, when he didn't want to do something, he didn't do it either. So, but for the Jerry curl alone, probably yes. You got it.
Dreezy, how about you?
So a guy I thought of immediately when you said this question was, so he got picked in front of Jordan, and I think he's forever shamed for it. So they picked up so many shitty centers over the end of their careers. Like, give Sam Bowie a run and let the guy win a championship, man. Like, I think he gets shit on for so long. Like, give him one championship out of this. Let him get in there.
He probably would have broke a leg or something during the season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he would have got hurt, but like, he was. I mean, even at the end of his career, I feel like he was still getting a lot of block shots and stuff. Like, it would have been worth having that guy out there. They had like Robert Parrish out there.
He probably would have fell over and broke Jordan's leg, and then they wouldn't have won. That's how bad luck that fucking guy was.
See, what I think you're forgetting with him is that he could go into any bar and say, hey, I was picked before Jordan, and get any girl he wanted in the whole place. Because the girls would be like, was obviously
But
very
he-
good at basketball because he was picked over Michael Jordan.
Is that where they would jump to? I feel like they wouldn't. They'd be like,
don't pay
"Someone was
attention."
stupid.
I don't think he wants to bring
I would-
attention to that.
I mean, I'm just telling you. It's like I was picked over Jordan. I would take my initial thought was a guy that I feel like deserved a championship because he was a good guy. He didn't really fit in the whole team, but I'm not going to go with that guy, and I'll name him after. But I'm going to go with Dominique Wilkins because I think like Dominique Wilkins was good around, like all around good, and they had good Atlanta teams, and then all of a sudden the Bulls just hit it, and then they went. So it was he was Jordan. He was Jordan-esque, you know, like he had great numbers, great player. So yeah, I'd go with the human highlight machine or highlight reel, Dominique Wilkins.
The human highlight machine.
Real. You don't gotta point it out, bitch.
That's a really good choice and a really good player. And that I had originally been thinking along the path of who did Jordan really fuck hard throughout his reign? Like good teams on the Eastern Conference side. So you have the Cleveland teams,
The
you have
Knicks.
those Atlanta teams, you got the Knicks. You know, like he really typed it in there. But you know what? Fuck all them. They weren't good enough. So I'm going to pick a guy who's a lot of fun, and he'd be a gigantic freak show. And we would have loved him in a Bulls uniform. And Teresa, you and I probably would have gone out and bought jerseys. I'm picking Manute Bol.
Oh,
Put the ball on the Bulls. Let him fucking chuck threes, block shots and shit. Like he would be amazing. And you know what too? It's like during the middle of the year, Phil would probably playing like 38 minutes randomly for no reason. And you'd be like, man, you see Manute Bol had 22 points and 18 rebounds last night? And then people would be like, why? Why is he even in the team?
I mean, just imagine Manute, you know, with the beautiful three that he would throw up, right?
Yeah.
And then running down the court and do the Jordan, like the shrug.
But his arms extend all
Right.
the way to
It's
the
like
sideline.
you're not even on the screen here, but you know.
it's like 4 toothpicks.
Pippen would have yelled at him too many times.
That's true. That's true. He couldn't have. Maybe he couldn't have played alongside Rodman. I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't have gotten along. I mean, like I don't think about the chemistry. I'm just sort of thinking who'd be the fun sideshow. You know?
They would have loved each other. I can tell.
Manute over here being all crazy and shit.
I met Dennis Rodman once at a Guns N' Roses concert, and his girlfriend was like 5 feet tall.
Holy shit! Really?
Yeah.
That's
Sal,
cool.
we have something in common. I partied with Dennis Rodman at his house in Newport Beach. And
Oh, I thought
my
it was-
soon-to-be roommate at that point got up on the balcony and flashed her her top half, and his wife got mad, and the party was over. We all had to get the fuck out.
Didn't you
Sox
pay?
summer ruins another good time.
But didn't you
Yeah.
pay $10 to get into this party?
I did, and I was like, thank you, Sal. You do love me. You do love me. It was all you could drink for $10. And I probably tipped another $20, $30 because I was like, just keep the booze coming.
Well, it's one of those
Don't give
stories.
me that look, fucking Mr. Delicious. you
It's one of
bitch.
those stories that didn't happen in at Alice Cooper's restaurant in Huntington, so I paid attention to it.
On that note, White Sox Sal, thanks so much for joining us for 3
Thank
days.
you, Sal.
Fucking awesome. Great talking
Thanks.
to you, brother. Hope to
Thanks
catch
for
you
being on, guys.
sometime soon.
I hope there's a game sometime soon.
Yeah,
No doubt.
we'll see.
Thanks,
Sal.
Sal.
I was hoping you guys would come to Houston this year, but that's not going to happen.
We were talking about it. Teresa and I were legit talking about it.
We
And
might
then all
still.
this shit.
There's no baseball, but we might still show up.
We'll
All right,
wear
guys.
spacesuits.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks,
On
man.
the show.
Thanks, Sal.
Peace
Talk to
out.
you soon.
All right.
Take care, brother.